two, 3 to 4. Whereas now in 2021, number of lady students have been increased by fivefold. Therefore, it is clear that willingness and career prospects in energy and environment sector is rising for women. Even after getting aware of various proactive activities of CWEEL, they are participating in various events, webinars, community service, etc., organized by us and keen to become member of CWEEL. Now let me focus where we want to reach. What is our target? What will be our roadmap? To promote CWEEL mission, we, the CWEEL member of AE Group chapter, aim to encourage women's participation in energy conservation and environmental protection. Various issues would be highlighted in the venture, as for example, importance of women's contribution in the energy transformation and environmental sustainability from highly specialized technical roles to policy, legal and commercial functions, the barriers and challenges they face, and measures that governments and companies can take to address this. The CWEEL Kolkata chapter will also facilitate the career development activities of existing industry professionals, support the training, education, and mentoring of young girls and women, aspiring young leaders looking for supportive mentors, groom women in leadership positions throughout the energy and environment industry in India, with support of education and mentoring programs misconceptions about gender equality as well as solution to overcome challenges facing it. Promoting gender equality and including gender considerations on all levels should be a high priority in both the public and private sectors in the country. Our goals should be to facilitate the growth of women entrepreneurs, encourage more women to enter the sector of environmental protection and energy conservation, which has been neglected and sorely needs immediate attention in country like ours. It is hoped that this venture will add to the momentum for closing the gender gap in energy and environment sector and beyond, and ultimately develop a more prominent voice for women in the energy and environment industry. We would want to skill underprivileged women even from all walks of life and try to provide them with employment in energy and environment sector for inclusive growth and meeting the goals of sustainable development. The idea should be to make maximum use of the human resources that we have and make a shift to more gender inclusion across fields where women have been given the opportunity and conducive conditions they have excelled. It is visibly observed that awareness among women are rising. They are becoming self-dependent, knowing that they are having ways and skills for natural resource management. They are better managers for natural resources. They are having sensitiveness towards environment. They are having high ecological consciousness. They can bring collaboration, innovation, and creative thinking to the workplace. With this, I conclude that this international webinar involving globally highly acclaimed women professionals in the field of energy and environment will enhance gender equality in the field of energy and environment industry in India and promote the role of women in the energy and environment industries and also encourage more women to participate in environmental and energy sector. Thanks once again to all participants for being with CWEEL. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Lauren Wiggins Jackson, the President of CWEL USA. It's a great pleasure for all of us to have you with us. Over to you, ma'am. Great question. I would like to request Deepa Das to please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
আমার কিছু শোনা যাচ্ছে না। by 30 campaign, you can see that there are member countries, the committed to People by 30, as well as nonprofit organizations and for-profit businesses. That campaign, to learn more about it, you can go to www.peopleby30.org, and I strongly encourage you to do that, learn more about the campaign. Again, this is to promote equal pay, equal leadership, and equal opportunities for women in the clean energy sector. So, the value of CERIA, what does CERIA really do, and why is it so important? Well, we cover a lot of different areas that support women and empower them within the energy and energy efficiency sectors, starting with career and professional development. We've hosted a number of lecture series on leadership, on career development. We provide educational and technical training series. We support AEE certification program and help women get certified. We actually have a Train the Trainer series around that, where we're working to get more women certified as trainers to train certified professionals. So that's an initiative that we are just launching this year. If you're interested in that, please reach out to myself or Sierra. We have scholarships. We have awards to recognize women in our industry and Seawheel champions, both men and women. And we have a quarterly newsletter and an annual Seawheel edition of one of AEE's important journals with an all-women authored edition. Our mentoring program. So, in order to really help women be successful in our industry, we need to mentor them and help them navigate some of the challenges of pursuing a career in this industry that is still so male dominated. Mentors can be both men and women, and they come from within the industry, and they provide customized support, inspiration, guidance, and tools for a mentee's career development. These are done through one-on-one and group meetings, and we allow, we provide topics for these meetings so that there is support for mentors and mentees. They can prepare in advance and make the most of their time when they meet together. And we also provide guidance and coordination for corporate members with their own internal mentoring programs. As we're seeing those be developed by corporations, they can coordinate with the Seawheel program. We provide great support for them. We also provide a networking group and great community. And so by participating in Seawheel, you have access to a global network of women in energy and the environmental industries. We share our experiences. We develop great relationships that can enhance your career advancement, job opportunities, and your personal growth. And we also provide volunteer and leadership opportunities on Seawheel committees and in AEE local chapters. And then our scholarships, as I've mentioned, we actually provided 11 scholarships this year to applicants in the US and internationally. And we're very proud of the efforts that we have each year. So we send information out in advance with the applications. The chapters have to provide letters of recommendation for the candidates, as well as the other information that's required in the application. So we would encourage the India chapters to find good candidates for these scholarships and submit them in for next year. We have a number, the way that we actually get work done in Seawheel is through committees. And so each board member of Seawheel at the international board level chairs a committee. Sue Hare, who you'll be speaking who will be speaking in a little bit, chairs our international membership committee. But we have a range of committees, including fundraising and corporate sponsorships, Chrissy Godfrey chairs our International Seawheel Group Committee. We have marketing. The Career Advancement Group is responsible for really putting together our programming, the international program and events, working with Ellen Bomasang to do that on an international basis and so on. So I would encourage you to, in addition to working in your local Seawheel group, is to take a look at participating in one of our international committees and participate at that level. This just shows a quick structure of how the AEE is associated with local chapters and then how Seawheel is associated with AEE. Again, remember, we are a division of the Association of Energy Engineers, so we are not a separate entity. We are EE and AEE's focus on diversity in the organization and supporting that in our industry. Our Seawheel Board of Directors serves leadership of AEE. The chapter liaisons serve on that committee within the committee that is overseen by the board. But then locally is this section here at the bottom of the screen, is where we have a Seawheel lead with a Seawheel local group development and possibly a Seawheel student group as well. And they serve at the discretion of the local chapter. So we're very excited that you guys have already identified and that we have active Seawheel chapter liaisons and chapter leads. And so this is a great step towards developing this. And again, we're very excited to support the Seawheel chapter lead's role is to develop the local group. The chapter leads are leaders in their AE chapter who encourage, strengthen, and inspire other women to network and grow professionally in this area. And the chapter liaison is a person who is coordinating communication between the Seawheel board and the local chapter. So these are two distinct positions. And our main objective, again, is to develop a local Seawheel group and to recruit women into the industry and to engage them, to keep them growing and staying in our industry. We actually do have a draft amendment to chapter bylaws. If you need that, certainly reach out to myself on Michelle Whitlock. And I covered the chapter liaison. How do you become a member of Seawheel? So there is a online application at aecenter.org that would allow you to become a member of the International AEE and then Seawheel. Again, Seawheel is a division of AEE, so it requires membership in International AEE. We also have corporate membership, so the companies that you represent may be interested in joining as a corporate member. And that provides 3 free memberships for Seawheel, as well as discounted additional memberships. So if they have a number of employees in a company, this is a good way to go. It provides discounts to educational and training programs, corporate recognition, additional leadership opportunities, and again, I mentioned that mentoring program support for corporations. So if you're interested in that, again, please reach out to me. I just want to leave you with a couple of key takeaways, and this ties into what was said earlier, and that is that we're living in a unique time where action to address climate change isn't just something that we're talking about, but it's something that's absolutely required in order to maintain a secure and stable future for our countries in the world. The impact of climate change is a tremendous risk to security and well-being. And so what we're seeing is that investments are and will be increasing in these areas, which equates to great job opportunities. We want to make sure that women, as well as a diverse workforce, has the chance to benefit from the personal growth, but also the economic opportunity that comes from this increasing investment in addressing climate change. There are many ways for individuals to contribute. So I think one of the most important things is to find the area of your greatest interest and passion. When we do what we love, we truly never work a day in our life. And I can be a testament to that. I love getting up every day and coming and doing the work that we do to help the planet, to help our communities. And the networking and relationships that I have built and maintained through this career have been just life changing. A diverse workforce is required to bring the creativity and innovation needed to solve these and other global problems, and men and women need to join efforts to develop the diversity in our sectors. I really do want to credit Benoit and others within the India chapter for their work in bringing about Wheel and the support of women. I know that we will not succeed in this effort unless we join together, men and women, to make this happen. And I just want to acknowledge and thank you for that effort. Be generous and humble. It's great joy in giving help to others. You know, we're a volunteer organization, but whatever you contribute in, you will get back tenfold. So just remember that, you know, generosity is something that will definitely come to your benefit, and be humble. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's times where we all need it. No one has all the answers, and your efforts will make a significant difference. This work that you do in clean energy and the work that you do to increase diversity in the sector will affect you personally, but it will bring benefits to your loved ones and to the environment, not just for your generation, but for generations to come. So we can and we will make an impact. So I want to thank you for this time this morning. I'm again very excited about the development of Seawheel here in India, and we are here to support you. I note my contact information as well as Sue Pear's. Our email addresses. Link in with us, please. You know, connect through WhatsApp. We are here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will surely connect to you through LinkedIn and Facebook and other social media platforms. Thanks for your kind words, and it's a great pleasure listening to you. As we have very limited time in our hands, so we are moving forward to the next session. But before initiating the next session, that is the panel discussion session, I would like to request everybody to fill up the feedback form to have the participation certificate. The link of the feedback form will be provided in the chat box here. So our next session is the panel discussion session, for which I would like to invite Dr. Shardani Mitra ma'am and Ms. Piali Sengupta ma'am to initiate the panel discussion session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rikta. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Rikta. We are now going to start our panel discussion on opportunities and challenges for women in renewable energy sector. Due to some preoccupied activities of our panelists, we are bound to reschedule our program slightly. We are first inviting one of our today's eminent speakers, Ms. Haimanti Poddar. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Haimanti Poddar to you. We are feeling proud that Haimanti, our alumni, who was a postgraduate in economics from University of Calcutta and a gold medalist in postgraduate diploma in environment management from Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, is now working at leading position at British Deputy High Commission, Kolkata. She is Senior Energy and Climate Change Advisor, COP26, Zero Emission Vehicles Transition India Lead, UK FCDO. She has undergone training on disaster management from European Commission's Joint Research Center in Italy. She has contributed articles on environment and climate-related areas in journals and books. Haimanti will deliver a speech on working on clean transport transition in COP26 and career prospects for women. Due to some urgent meeting with London, she has kindly agreed to spare a few minutes time for us, though she has committed to provide all kind of support for CWEEL. Hemandi, we are really thankful to you for being with us. Over to Hemandi.
Thank you very much, ma'am. What can I say? Really kind of you for such beautiful words and what a beautiful event this is. Such great women leaders together representing environment, energy, climate, these sectors, which are of most important sectors for the development of the country. I would really like to thank everyone for organizing this discussion today, and particularly because you're focusing on women who are making a difference in the field of clean growth. It is also a great pleasure, ma'am, to be back to my alma mater and to be connecting with you, my dear teachers. You helped me shape my goals. So a special thanks to you, Shabani ma'am, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Shekhar sir, the Brigade officer, for providing me with all the steer and guidance early on in my life. So I really feel blessed because I have you as my mentors. Um, Before I talk about the sector, I thought I would highlight the fact that because I work for the UK government, what UK in India is doing on gender equality. So the UK has signed up to Gender Equality Charter. So through all our work, we mobilize our network of partners in India across various sectors, so government, education, businesses, civil society, to amplify our narrative on gender equality, capitalizing on the UK expertise under some of the key themes, which is diversity in workplace, female entrepreneurship, gender and literacy, women in STEM, and and particularly in the sector of electric mobility, which I work on currently because it's a COP year and COP26 has this theme for clean transport transition. More than 60% of my colleagues working in this sector are women. So it is indeed, encouraging and heartwarming to see that today many women like me and you are working in this space. Many of you would be knowing that particularly UK this year has got a big focus on climate, and it has been a focus throughout for UK. So together with Italy, the UK will bring 197 countries for 12 days of talks. It will be a moment when every country, every part of the society embraces their responsibility to protect our planet. This is called the UNFCCC's COP26, and which the UK is working on with every nation to reach an agreement on how to tackle climate change. So what we are specifically doing is that this endeavor it centers around calling for all the countries make a consistent and concerted effort, particularly on four areas. So limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees, enable communities and the natural habitats to adapt to the impacts of climate change, mobilize climate finance, which is super important, and to work together to deliver action. And if we do not take this chance to keep 1.5 degrees alive, it will slip from our grasp, and we must end coal, embrace renewable energy, curtail deforestation, speed up the switch to electric vehicles, and encourage more and more investment into the renewable sector. And this will all be needed to particularly meet the Paris Agreement goal. We need to take urgent action to have the global emissions in the next decade, restore our relationship with nature, and reach net zero by 2050. So, only 2 months left to COP26. The message is really clear. If we do not act now, there is enough scientific evidence that tells us that the effects of rising temperatures will become more frequent and more brutal. So we will witness a scaling of global catastrophe, the likes of which the world has not seen before. And many of us can actually see so many things happening in terms of heat waves, cyclones, and so on. And if women, work together and we come together, we can actually make the change happen towards a better and a more glorious future ahead. So that we have cleaner air, bluer skies, nature will be restored, and we will protect the world from the worst of climate change, while also creating jobs and boosting prosperity for women. There are five, I would like to mention that there are five key thematic areas of COP26, which is clean transport, clean finance, nature based solutions, and adaptation and resilience. And all the changes in these sectors would require deep structural and systematic transformation. And for that to happen, we are working at all levels across all segments, but we can all achieve more, faster, and at a lower cost to make it more affordable if we can work together. So these would be my messages on COP26. I wouldn't really like to go further on, particularly on electric vehicles, because it will cut out a lot of time from this panel discussion. But just on that, I would like to mention that there are many shared challenges and many shared priorities of different countries, because different countries have got different transportation mix from. So the priorities are battery manufacturing, charging infrastructure creation, awareness creation on electric vehicles, fiscal instruments, a range of that. So for that, ahead of COP26, we've set up the Zero Emission Vehicle Transition Council, bringing together some of the world's largest and most progressive car markets, including India, to discuss how to accelerate the pace of global transition and make it faster, cheaper, easier for all. Um, I I thought that I must mention that because I work with so many of my women colleagues to deliver this objective, there are a number of achieving scholars and Ashton Award winners who are developing new technologies, cleaner technologies, and renewables and electric mobility to make a difference, to make this change happen, to make this shift happen. But let me end with an inspiring story, because Sharwani ma'am mentioned about the skill development across different sectors, across different women coming from different backgrounds. So we supported a project for a group to create a group of women, who can own and drive electric three-wheelers. And this is a story of a 24-year-old girl called Mariam, who lives in a village in UP, which is 20 kilometers from Allahabad, and she has a family of six. She is the only bread earner of her family. She used to work in a local shop, and she only used to earn around 4,000 rupees a month. This particular project ensured that she gets access to the finance to buy her own three electric wheeler auto. And now she earns 20,000 a month. And in the evening, she's also studying law. So this, in a way, she is empowered, and she is one of the 60 women electric auto drivers in India. The high point was when we made her take Prince Charles on her electric three-wheeler, and you can Google up and see her all over the internet making news. Um, and what a smile it was on her face of achievement, that she is contributing to the environment, she's contributing to her family, she's contributing to her education, and she's inspiring so many other women. So if we can do it, if she can do it, we can do it too. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope we'll meet again. And I'm really sorry that I have to leave soon for another call, but I hope to join again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananti. Within very short time, you have excellently focused your area of work. May I now request our CWEL lead officer, Ms. Hiyali Gupta, to invite our another esteemed speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Mitra. So next, moving to our next speaker, our next panelist is Mrs. Madhura Mitra, a
climate change professional who worked as a director with PricewaterhouseCoopers Private Limited. He is an electrical engineer, a certified energy auditor by Bureau of Energy Efficiency India, and a postgraduate in energy management from IISWD in Kolkata. She has more than 12 years of experience in designing climate change mitigation and adaptation policies and programs across the sectors like energy, waste, transport, mining, agriculture, and water. She has led projects in India, South Asia, and Southeast Asian region, specific island countries like Africa also. She has extensively engaged with ministries, regulators, public sector utilities, bilateral and multilateral agencies such as United Nations Development Programme, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, GIZ, etc. She focused on gender mainstreaming in climate change mitigation and adaptation policies and programs. She is uh, currently leading the National Adaptation Fund for Climate Change Project in Jharkhand, India. And as a part of it, she is looking at designing gender inclusive climate resilience livelihood practices for forest and agriculture dependent communities. Now I would like to request Mrs. Madhura Mitra to deliver her address. And for all the participants, I would like to request to write your queries if you have any to the other panelists also, so that we can raise their questions. If we have shortage of time, we will forward your question to them, and we will intimate with you with the email in the letter on. So, and one or two questions we may definitely get after this lecture. Okay. So over to Madhura.
Thank you, Dr. Chengisto. And just like Manimanti mentioned, I'm very happy to see, especially BPC sir here, because I'm seeing him after a very long time. And also Shalvani ma'am, I don't know whether she remembers me or not, but I have been a student of hers as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah, good to be back. I have a short presentation, so I will present it. I hope you can see my screen. So basically, today when we are talking about opportunities for women in the renewable energy sector, I have divided that particular, I have tried to broaden it a little bit. So I will cover, first of all, the opportunities, the challenges and opportunities for women or for across all genders at the workplace, number one. Then I will cover, because I specifically work for the last 12 years, I'm working in the space of climate resilience that covers both climate change mitigation and adaptation. I will try to cover, how we can include, or the gender perspective into climate resilient programs. So, so at workplace, so we were talking about job opportunities. So, but once we get a job, what happens? Um, because once we get a job, as a woman, we need promotion, we need equal salaries like our men colleagues and all. So how do we ensure all these things? So first of all, we need to recognize that when we talk about gender, it's not about only men or women. It's also about a third gender, which is LGBTQ plus, which is a third gender that we are considering nowadays at the workplace. So when we talk about inclusion of gender at the workplace, we are trying to say that it has to be equal, inclusive, safe workspace for both men and women, acknowledging, knowing, and including the third gender, which is LGBTQ plus, which is not beyond men and women. And then once we have equal and safe space for all these three genders, how we can build an equal, inclusive, safe workspace for all of them. So it's, for to start with, two genders, then acknowledging the third gender, and then to see how we can have an equal, inclusive, safe workspace for both male, for both male and females, as well as the third gender. To do that, we know, like renewable energy sector is still a little better than the other sectors. We have some 32% of the workforce as women workforce, but 32%, if we dissect the number, we'll see most of the women are coming from the administrative part of it, not the technical or the technological, innovation aspect, but from the administrative aspect. So what should we do? We need to first accept. There has to be acceptance that women can also have knowledge and technical knowledge, and they can execute the technical knowledge as well. There has to be infrastructure to support women so that they can go out to the field and prove that we have knowledge, as professionals, and we can execute the knowledge of the field as well. Then there has to be systems in place to acknowledge, recognize, reward, promote such women as a field. And in order to do that, there will be two more important things. We need to build capacity, for all the women, urban women, when a woman like me who is working with a corporate, or women who are there at the rural sector, who are working in the field, trying to develop a crop which is green in nature. How we can help them? How we can help them understand that instead of a fossil fuel driven pump, they can go for a solar pump, and how they can operate a solar pump. So that is building capacity across geographies, across urban and rural setups. Then comes access to finance. It's very important that whatever we want to do, if I want to start a business tomorrow, I need finance. And there has to be equality. When I'm applying for a loan as a woman, and when a man is applying for a loan, there should not be any distinction between the two. So how do we ensure all these things? So now, yeah, this is a very popular quote by the UN Secretary General. We all, I'm sure we know, right? United Nations has the Sustainable Developmental Goals that we are all trying to achieve. But he thinks, the Secretary General thinks that we cannot achieve any of our goals without the participation of women and girls. So we need women and girls while developing a sustainable world. Now, I will share a story with you. I was talking about infrastructure, right? When I started my career with PwC in 2009, I remember I was traveling to from Tamil Nadu, from Chennai airport. I was traveling to somewhere near Tirupati, and it took about 3-4 hours. And there was no like female toilet in between. And then my work was at a factory. It was an iron ore factory where I was trying to help them understand the carbon emission reduction if possible to that. That was in 2009. I went there, I took a early morning flight, and then I went there, and then I traveled, something 3 hours on the road, and I ended up at that factory. The factory didn't have any female employee there, so they didn't have a ladies' toilet as well. So forget about gender neutral toilet that you see as written, but there was no setup at all. What I did, during lunchtime, I had to tell them that I need to use the washroom. And all the men there, they had a common toilet which didn't have a lock on. They all stood there, and I went and used the toilet, and they all stood there to guard me so that one third person cannot come in. But they ensured, I spent 3 days there, and that was the arrangement with my colleagues there at the factory. But they ensured, and they promised to me the next time when I go back, there would be a toilet for gender neutral, and that happened. They built the toilet. So the industry was not ready for a woman to come in. So I was the first person who went there and did it. So this is the change that we need to make. If you're going somewhere, we need to be vocal about it. If there is no toilet, we need to talk, tell them that there is no toilet. Otherwise, whether it's a renewable energy sector or any other sector, we can't move in. Now, it, we need to keep in mind that when we talk about diversity, inclusion, all these words, we see that our colleagues, in many cases, they are trained, they understand, they empathize with each other. But it is not about our colleagues only. We need to train our clients when we are talking with our third parties. We need to train the cab drivers. So when a company like PwC is trying to tie up, or even ISWBM, if they are trying to tie up with cab vendors, we need to know, that they also need to be trained about the whole aspect of gender safety, safety for women and all, and also the cafeteria staff and so on. So we are actually trying to address a larger stakeholder when we are talking about gender inclusion. And when we are hiring, when we are hiring women or someone from the LGBTQ community, it should not be a CSR drive or a corporate social responsibility. No, you hire us because we have the knowledge, we have the intellect, and we'll be able to implement that in the field. That's why you should hire us, not because it's a social responsibility of yours. Like you do not hire men because for a social cause, so you should not hire women also for a social cause. That has to be ingrained in the policy. That's very important. And I have seen, in from my own experience, that as I'm growing senior, I'm losing my female colleagues because maybe they are kind of trying to raise their children there at home. They are becoming mothers and all. So how do we accept this, that women will be mothers and they will have additional responsibilities? Again, an example. I do attend a lot of international workshops as a part of my job responsibilities, and they accept. Even if it is a UN conference and all, if my child is on my lap and if I do a video conference, they accept and appreciate that. So this is acceptance. They should know that a woman professional, even at a senior level, can have a child, and the child should be there with the mother. And that acceptance is very, very important for all of us to know if we're talking about inclusion. And it's not about only about women; it's also about men. Because I've seen that while maternity leaves are usual, are a very usual thing for us, whoever is trying to get that leave. But similarly for fathers, paternity leaves are not that celebrated, but it should be, right? Because household work is not only for women, it's also for men. So maternity leaves, paternity leaves should have equal focus. Otherwise, we can't come out of that notion that, the household code is only for mothers, so maternity leaves are needed, paternity leaves are not. What are the changes that we are trying to make in our organization? Yes, we are talking more about diversity and inclusion. In the last, a few years, especially in the last year, we have seen that we are having several workshops, once in a month at least, on diversity and inclusion. There is a dedicated diversity and inclusion team who shares every now and then insights on the subject, which is also a very important thing. You keep on hearing, you keep on learning things. We all, we can't know everything at one go. So we keep on learning, and all these regular communications actually help. And then, you know, team gender partner, that is getting recognized in our group medical policy. A very, very important step to make. Flexible work hours, of course, that's always there, and especially when women who are like rated 1 or rated 2, are like achievers in their own space, their ratings actually are retained. Even if they go on maternity leave, their ratings are retained, which is again a very, very important thing. And you can't penalize someone if someone is going on maternity. Then there are inclusion champions. We need to ensure that during promotions and appraisals, salary hikes and all, there should not be any gender bias there. So that's why what we have done is there are inclusion champions, all women. I am also one of the inclusion champions of my organization. So So we are present there during the moderation discussions to ensure that the appraisal and promotions, when we take decisions, there is no bias around it. And hence, as I was talking to you, that we need to educate all our stakeholders, our colleagues. We need to, on Women's Day, I mean, if we receive an acknowledgement from our men colleagues that, that yes, you are adding value, that means a lot, right? It's important that we formalize the system. We formalize the acknowledgement system, as a part of our policy. We also need to kind of ensure that our clients, when we do all these workshops, we include everyone. We try to hear out from them also how they can ensure that when our women colleagues are traveling, how safe their workplaces will be. It's not only our workplace, all the field level activities, those workplaces also need to be safe. That assurance should come from the clients. Others in the value chain I talked about, whether it's the housekeeping staff or the cafeteria staff, cab agencies or other contractors, all need to be educated, need to be aware of gender safety, gender equality. And this has to be a formal inclusion in it should affect our payroll. If a manager who is trying to champion the women colleagues, that particular manager should be rewarded more than another manager who is not encouraging such diversity and inclusion. That distinction has to be there. Otherwise, no one will. We will talk about it, but it will not get implemented. Now that is about work. I'll talk a little bit about the kind of work that I do, and as Professor Shengupta was mentioning that. I'm working in Jharkhand as a part of a national adaptation fund for climate change project. It's a fund created by NABARD. So, some of those examples I share here with you. So, how do we kind of ensure that there is an entry point for women into all kinds of climate resilience programs? First of all, we need to hear all the voices. We need to hear their voices. When we talk, when we go and interact with the community, if it's a common community where both men and women are present, then usually women do not talk. Their voices are kind of subsumed by the voices of the men. So it's very important that we have female only, male only focus group discussions so that female voices are also heard. They can talk freely without any fear. And that is one of the observations that we have found. It's very important to do female only FGDs rather than a combined heterogeneous focus group. Now coming to the fact that once we identify the issues from them, from these female-only focus groups, it's important that we build their capacity. And how do we build their capacity and where should we build their capacity? We should ensure, first of all, that whatever capacity building activities we are doing, and this is mainly for the rural workforce that we have. When we are trying to do that, we should ensure that there is at least 30%. It should be more, but at least 30% female participation in all the capacity building workshops. It should be a conscious effort. There should be a conscious effort that we should have at least 30% female participation. And what do we teach them about? We teach them about mainly two things. One is financial literacy, how to create a bank account, how to do a bank transfer, how to ensure, because we know, right, that women in our country do not have land holding capacity in most cases. And we are not asset owners. Mostly men are asset owners. So how do we make them aware that they are not the asset owners? They need to own assets, they need to own land. But awareness is also not there. Once the awareness is there, they will be vocal about it. Then it's technical literacy. They should know when we are trying to distribute the mini solar grids for rural electrification and use of renewable energy. They need to know how to repair a solar panel. They need to know how to operate a solar pump. If the pump doesn't work, how to repair a pump. That technical literacy also needs to be there in them. how to use biomanuals, how to replace chemical fertilizers with bio fertilizers, how to use multi-grain pulverizers, because that's a very important thing for the rural livelihood. How to use them, they need to know different kinds of handicrafts, that a woman can do and can become an entrepreneur. The next point. Entrepreneurship is very important, but they can't do it alone. So that's why it's important that we create self-help groups so that they can run some of these off-farm activities, means the activities that are not happening in the field, that are happening off the field. And we train them, then they learn, then they run it on their own as one group of women. And when they do it, we need to link them to the market so that they can sell them day is the day and they can earn out of it. So that market linkage is also very important. And any climate resilience program should focus on this aspect. And then comes equal participation. We talked about equal participation, but how do we do it? If we want to do it, then there has to be a structural rearrangement of the small rural units that are there. For example, the farmer producer groups. We need to structurally rearrange that so that women actually have a space there, a decision making space there in those farmer groups. Similarly, there are joint forest management and agricultural management committees. There also, I mean, when we entered Jharkhand, these committees do not have the women participation. Now women are there, they're leading it, they're executing all the activities that are listed as a part of their job description. So that structural rearrangement has to happen. And then you allocate equal responsibilities in terms of execution and decision making. If we can do all these things parallelly and together, then there is a possibility that we will be able to achieve gender mainstreaming in climate programs. So I'll stop here. If you have any questions, I'm happy to
Does anyone have any questions to Okay, so till now we have Mrs. Laurie along with us. So if anyone have a question to Mrs. Madhura Mitra or Mrs. Laurie, just ask or ask type it in the chat box. I think everyone is very much influenced by your presentation, and so many of their applications is coming. So thank you, Madhura, for highlighting very real, informative, and practical aspects, I can say, about the gender equality. And hope in near future we consider equal opportunity for along all genders, not helping or act as a CSR activity for us, giving women as opportunities, providing opportunities to women. So equal opportunities across all the genders. That is our take.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Madhura. Thank you, Madhura, for providing. And if anyone have any question for them, so please write it in the chat box. We will also forward to the panelists and give it the. So now I would like to introduce our next panelist, Ms. Suhail Al-Mahida. Suhail is a senior engineer at Jordan Standards and Metrology Organization with over 15 years of experience in the field of renewable energy and certification systems. He holds a master's degree in university from University of Jordan and holds a leadership position on both member committees. She was recognized with International Energy Professional Development Award by AED in Washington, D.C. He became a trainer for ISO 50001 Energy Management System, and she is also an authorized trainer for certified sustainable energy professional training corresponding. 45 engineers were trained to fix courses in fast bypass. Sweden has been leading the first international chapter for Council on Women in CWPEL in Jordan. He has been a board member of the Jordan Energy chapter for of AEE since 2011 to 2017. Also, she became the first female certified energy manager (CEM) in Jordan. So over to Suhaib, and we would love to hear your views and experience. And thank you, Suhaib, for being here and sharing your thoughts.
First of all, thank you for your nice words, and I'm very glad to be part of this event. And hopefully, you will be inspired by my presentation about our journey in Civil Jordan Group and empowering women in energy and environmental sectors here in Jordan. I wanted to share my screen. If I have the authority to do. Is my screen visible?
Others are requested to please don't touch the sharing screen.
Is it visible now?
Yes, you may use F5 for full display if you like.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you. Is it visible or not?
It is visible. You may use full screen mode.
Yes,
if you
okay.
like.
Okay. Yes. My presentation should be about the key driving forces to encourage women in the energy and environmental industries in Jordan. And I preferred to match this topic, how we are in Civil Jordan, actually how we empower the women to let them have these three key driving forces to participate and contribute to the energy and environmental sector in Jordan. Civil Jordan Group was established in May 2014 as the first international group for the national civil in USA. In the first meeting, it was difficult actually to demonstrate women from the energy and environmental sectors in Jordan due to the limited networking. The group started with 7 women to discuss and conclude the needs that could support their participation in these male-dominant sectors. And actually, this is the sector status everywhere. It's not only in Jordan. Civil Jordan Group recognized the weaknesses that need to be converted into opportunities and drivers to encourage Jordanian women to participate and have achievements and impacts on Jordan energy and environmental sectors. Civil Jordan has been working on the following goals by arranging various activities and meetings: increase networking and visibility, building capacity by equipping them with training, keep the members updated to the most recently technologies and best practices. Also, we are working on increasing their field or site experience, building capacity by equipping them with training, keep the members updated to the most recently technologies and best practices, enhance their leadership, soft skills, and time management skills. Equip them with international training courses to be certified professionals. And I'd like to share with you part of these activities, how we achieve these goals, and it may differ from a civil group to the other, depending on the culture, on the local needs, and on the nature of the women in each country. Here, this is my favorite actually photo. This is about our first meeting. We were only 7. our first meeting as civil group. As I mentioned before, we had different various meetings to let the people know each other, to do the networking, enhance this point, to know each other in the sector. And this photo, it's from our anniversary, the first anniversary for civil group. The women who attended reached to 87, comparing to 7 in the first meeting. This also from our meeting with the AE Director for International Membership. Usually we have our meetings not during the working hours, it's after the working hours. And we recognize from our attendees, it's difficult for women to participate after the working hours, especially who have the group of women who have many responsibilities, taking care of kids, a lot of stuff with the family after the working hour. So we targeted these group of women at the ministries during the working hour, the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Energy, a lot of these governmental institutions. A lot of site visits were done. We visited the sites that working using EE, energy efficiency, or working on renewable energy sources. For example, here we have Philadelphia factory. It's the largest factory producing PV systems components in the MENA region. Here for another company for solar panels. Here it's about education in the University of Jordan, working also on the renewable energy. Here, this is a visit for a college. They have their PV on a grid project construction. Usually in these site visits, we had an explanation about the system, the capacity, the methodology, and the benefits. So the participants benefited from such site visits to enrich their, let's say, their field or site experience. Another site visit for Zaytuna University. They have their on a grid project and green sustainable student park. This site visit targeted the young professional and even the student at the university. One from our main goals to support the young professionals. So we usually invite them to be part of our events like speakers, in addition to be part as attendees. This is about young energy women in Jordan making positive changes. We have also a lot of activities to spread the awareness about the AEE certified training courses, to encourage our members to be part of this professional community, to, let's say, give the right framework for their experience and be certified. After a while from our discussion and let's say trying to know the real needs for our members, we recognize that there is a need for having long training courses. It's like a meeting for 1 hour or 2 hours. So we did a lot or a series of 5 hours training. Usually we did it on weekends, so they could participate, and we supported them with attendance certificate, which support their CVs and in addition to their keeping them updated and having a new knowledge in PV, or even we will see a lot of topics in renewable and environmental. This is about solar loop basic training, and you could figure out actually the attendees numbers and how was it popular for the people. This is about climate change, thermal imaging, advanced third-party testing, and actually during the training they practiced using the thermal camera and analyzed pictures, how they could benefit from the result of this thermal imaging. Energy monitoring and energy saving, Jordan Green Building Guide awareness. And actually we tried to let our members have a different topics to have like a comprehensive knowledge in all related topics. Wind energy technology and systems, global climate reality training. This training was in cooperation with Genco Solar PV modules, PV cleaning robot modules. This is also about one of AEE certified training course, certified water efficiency professional. And actually for this course, we have a female certified trainer. Now I want to highlight women in these sectors. They not only need the, let's say, the technical background or technical. They have to do more effort comparing to their colleagues, the male colleagues. So they have to empower themselves with other kinds of training, have more powerful skills in leadership, in presentation, in public speaking, in time management. So we did like a corporation training course funded by USA to have time management training course, public speaking, and about the soft skills. A lot of activities that we did to spread the awareness about the AEE courses, here about REP, CNM, CMVP. Now I'd like to share what kind of events that as Civil Group in Jordan we participated in and we achieved. We need to be part of the local community. We have to be part of many and different events that were part of the community in Jordan. So the presence of the Civil Group should be raised and be visible to the community. So we participated in different events. For example, here this is the Women Leadership Forum, the ICT Forum, the AEE World. Here we have a local event, it's the Green Job Fair, and here the MENA Women Empowerment Leadership Conference. It was not actually a simple or easy journey. We have to find our position and our, let's say, our position and our effect and impact in the community. Participation and achievement in 2016. A group of women from Jordan participated in AEE 2016. Participation in civil activity, it's not only in Amman, the capital of Jordan. We also did a lot of site visits to the governorate. Here, this is photo from our participation in the southern governorate, where we met students from different universities. We have a three university in South of Jordan. So we met them there and invited them to be part from our activities, and actually we called to have liaison officers at these governorates. As I mentioned before, that we try to support and empowering our members with the certified training courses. We had a memorandum of understanding with USAID GCP program. They funded the participation of a group of women in 2015 for 54 women, 2016 for 65 women, and that actually enabled them to be part of the workforce in Jordan using these certificates. About the current situation, that the last year and this year still we are suffering from the COVID situation. Seawell Jordan has been launched Energy Talks webinar series in April of 2020 using AE Online Zoom platform as a reflection for COVID circumstances. We did the 21 distinguished female, we had 21 distinguished female speakers from Jordan and from the Arab region participated in this webinar to share their practical knowledge, experience, and energy grid buildings, water, and environment sectors. Actually, it was amazing experience. Since such webinars, there was like a new door, a new kind of way to communicate with the people during the COVID, the lockdown here and everywhere. All sessions were followed by highly interactive question and answer sessions that were attended by 700 participants worldwide who showed their interest and passion to the topics of the session. These parts from the invitations for these webinars, I'd like to highlight the topics, some of these topics. For example, here about solar thermal energy storage, concept and application, and all of these webinars were done by professional women. People through our events, empowering them with the international certification program, and such achievements, our efforts here in Seawell Group pays off. This is the latest the achievement, actually, the Chapter Champion Award for 2020, and I'm proud to have this award. She was awarded as the Middle East Energy Innovator. The student awarded as best student in 2019. Mathematics in Science and Technology. He awarded best meeting. Green Neighborhood Development Project, Middle East Energy Project 2018. Engineer Shifa awarded as Middle East Energy Professional 2018. I gained this award as International Professional in Energy Development 2016. Also, my colleague Safa awarded as Middle East Young Energy Professional 2016. This is a story that for the current in the Middle East region in 2015, and she is now the head energy minister. We started this journey for awards in 2014 with Aya Young Energy Professional International, and we are proud of this group of professional women here in Jordan. And I'm very glad to have this opportunity to ask for any kind of support. Let's say to copy our success story somewhere else in India, for maybe copying or supporting or give you any kind of support that you need to benefit from our success in Jordan to your chapter or sorry, to your India series. And you are welcome to ask or to have discussion about the presentation that I shared or any feedback you like to share.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Diwas. If anyone has any questions to Suhas, please ask. We are happy to take one or two questions. Okay. So if there are any questions, as we are running out of time, so we may give the questions to you. We'll forward you the questions to help and
Thank you.
active in podcast. So
Thank you for
very
this
much.
opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your resourceful presentation and providing the information about the CWEL Jordan chapter. I wish that CWEL India chapter will get inspiration from your Jordan chapter, and happy to work together in future.
Yes, sure. More than welcome.
Yeah. I wish your future participation to our future webinars and other activities.
Yes, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. So next, I would like to request Dr. Sharvani to introduce our next panelist. Over to Dr. Sharvani.
Thank you, PLE. It's my pleasure to introduce our next esteemed speaker, Dr. Sridevi Basu, to you. Dr. Basu holds a PhD degree in civil engineering from IIT Delhi. Her master's degree is in water resources from IIT Delhi and bachelor degree is in civil engineering from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. She had worked with Engineers India Limited for 12 years in General Civil Department, and for last 11 years, she is working with her own company, Save Earth Consultancy. She is having an international patent on a method and system for ground pollution free and minimum oil burning oil storage tank form. She has few publications in national and international journals. Her PhD dissertation is published as a chapter in the book named Design of Canals by P.K. Swami and P.R. Chahar. She also teaches civil engineering to the engineering graduates for project management and control under Bridging the Gap BTG between the academics and industry program. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Basu for being with us. Over to Dr. Basu.
Thank you. Namaskar, this is Sri Basu. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my views or journeys in the industry. Being a civil engineer, obviously, what we say is that balance between, or I say equality. The first time I faced when I was a graduate student, now about to be passed, and I applied for a interview for a big construction company of India. I cleared it, but I didn't get the job. When my next male friend he went, he has been told that she would get the job if she was a boy. And that pinched me a lot. That I was being seen as a woman, not as a technical person. I personally feel when we are in an industry as a technical person, we should not be judged as our gender. Whatever gender we are a technical person. We are here to solve the technical person. We are using our brains, we are using our body, we are using our every stamina to do it. Women are going in the construction industry, that is nothing wrong in that, and they are doing excellence. Then why this bad mindset up with the people in the hiring board having it that she cannot. So I didn't got that job, construction job, and I got a campus job from the PSU in Engineers India Limited. I'm lucky to be part of this such a PSU. And when I got the job, I worked there for 12 long years. I learned many things and everything, whatever I am today, where it goes today. Then I started my own. So I have seen two different prospects of a woman in the industry. One is when you are in the PSC, when you are a buyer or maybe a approver or maybe a checker. So you are there, you can see much bigger project, you can work much bigger project, but your responsibility is at least you feel less accountable when you start working alone. When you are starting working alone, then it is your part to do everything up to the mark so that your client satisfies and goes on. When I started my journey as an individual, I nobody has said me in face that you cannot do it, but it was their gesture that being a woman, how can you do it? That was a project. It took me for 11 long years to put me in the public that yes, I am a technical woman and I can do the job. I can go to the site. What Madhura said, that is the same thing. There is no acceptance of knowledge that a woman can have equal knowledge for man. There is no gender bias. There should not be. It's a mindset of that woman cannot do or a man cannot do. Both of them can do if they wish to do. This is just a wish. Whatever woman can, whatever a woman forum, we say their men are excellent. They're a good chefs. We say that a chef. Then why if can a good chef can be there in a hotel, and then why cannot be a good engineer in the technical field? Why we are biased? This biasness is there. Secondly, when I go to the site, same thing what Madhura experienced that I also have experienced, the site is not ready to see a woman in the field. All of a sudden it's away. Secondly, obviously in 23 years of journey, I found people has changed a lot. Now acceptance has increased a lot, and I hope our next generation girls will not face such things. Yes, they need to make a special washroom for us, special restroom for us if we have to stay a night. They have to special arrangement, or they make request with some of their colleagues who are having wives. They ask to stay with them to feel safe. Why should not a guest house be able to accommodate a girl or a woman who is working? Be it a married or be it unmarried. But why you need to send them somebody's place, or you ask the woman, somebody's wife to stay with us in the guest house, as this woman is staying for that night. So this biasness I have. This is one of the things. But when we are talking about this energy and environment, it is a nice to see people are working for clean energies and we are doing excellent in this project. It is, we all are doing. But I just wanted to, because I got a chance to tell in this forum, so I just wanted to say this: other than clean energy, there is a accident energy. Accidental energy is a fire blow. When there is, as I work in the mostly in the fire protection as a fire protection in the industry, mostly in oil industry. Now I shifted to all the industry. So like this fire, accidental fire, be it an industrial accidental fire or be it a forest fire, both are accidental. At that time, we release a huge amount of energy, but till date, we don't have any method to capture that energy, to store that energy, and use it for our future as we can. Whatever energy we use in a controlled way. When there is a fire growth, then there is a uncontrolled. So we should, as our students, many students of you are, you should work on it. When there is an accident energy, how you will capture that energy from the environment and store it for your future, or how you can stop with this devastation up to a certain limit. My patent is only for that just to reduce, because right now at this position we cannot stop all fires. So there will be accidental fires, but we have to make it limit tends to zero. As close to zero we can do, but we have to do it. And we have to be careful. We have to make every stakeholder aware of it. That nowadays, because environment is no more able to take one accidental fire, be it a fossil fuel fire, be it a forest fire. So we should be ready that almost zero tolerance in this accidental fire. By any chance, if there is an accidental fire, then we should have enough protection that earlier whatever amount we can save, now we can save our resources much more in the form. Earlier, if X amount of fuel is burning due to a fire, accidental fire, now it should be X by at least some percentage, less than X. So these are the innovative ways through which, other than clean energies, we should do, so that clean energy and the environment should be there. And once, as I work, as I said, it is a forest fire, or every time it is the air which is getting polluted. Until now, there is no method available in the market that which can give you the whole troposphere clean. You can make a clean air for your room or a cubicle at a small place. What you were doing, you were taking the pollutants from the inside and throwing it out in the environment first. Or if maximum you are absorbing it, doing something else. But when there is accidental fire, you cannot do it all these things because it is broken. And who cleans it? Not any human being can clean it. It is the only trees. They clean it. It is the wind who disperse, and with time it is the time and it is the trees which are cleaning. We are saying in a woman along with energy and environment. I personally feel, I'm not saying it is the everyone's for choice or everyone's mode of thinking. It's my mode of thinking. Every people who are nurturing a single plant, at least, it's a part of this energy and environment. So, other than rewarding, we nowadays we are rewarding like Kimaka, Tulsi Gaura, because they have done a huge amount of environmental. Like this, you will find many women in the rural village or in sitting at a home, housewives, which we call our house stay home moms. They are planting so many things. So they are also contributing to the environment. Because without nurturing plant, we cannot clean air. We can clean water, we can clean soil, we can clean other things. But as a whole atmospheric troposphere of cleanness, yes, it is not possible for us to personally to do it. So those who are students, just think of these areas which where you can make some innovative ideas, take some things and make ourselves easy our life, because with time we are more going to use energies for our daily lives. So more heat, more pollutions, more things. So if you can capture those energies, pollutions and all these things, and tend it to the other mode and use it for your future, then it will be a huge change in the society. Because right now we are using it and we are saying it is pollution, pollution, and pollution. So if you can capture the heat from the environment and store it and use it and keep your environment temperature balance, then you can use, you can go for any luxury, nobody will stop you any day. But till date we don't have. So these are the spaces where I feel our students, our workers, whosoever are working in this technological field, they should think other than capturing only from the solar part or wind part or water part. You should think to capture accidental heat energy released during the accidental fire, because this is one of the major challenge which we don't have any forums, we don't have anything where we say accidental fire is also an important thing to look after, to take care of it. Because if we are, as an environment, and today as 2021, we cannot allow, or our environment is not in a position to allow one accidental fire. So whatever prevention methods are there, that should be reviewed and that should be changed in such a way so that if we are allowing earlier X amount, again I am saying X amount, now it should be point something X amount. Let it be a point one, let it be a drop, but be. So this is my experience and sharing as a person. And I feel personally when these people are more organized, having so many things. So if you start recognizing the women who are planting trees in their homes or who are working just without any expectations at their home for planting trees or nurturing trees for them, they should be awarded. Once you can draw the society and change the paradigm that richness is not having a money or having a car, richness is how many plants you are having at your home or how many plants. So then you will find automatically environment may, it is my opinion, environment may change because your paradigm has changed. Right now, our social status is how much big house I am having, how many cars we are having, but we don't say how many plants we are nurturing, how much carbon credit we are reducing. As I'm not talking about carbon credit because it is very tough to infiltrate this carbon credit words among this ground root level. But it is much easier to tell that I have nurtured 5 plants, I have nurtured 10 plants, I have nurtured 12 plants, at least in the urban areas, so that you can make your urban full urban area. What nowadays we are having a hot urban area, at least to make a cool urban area. So you can make this paradigm shift. So it should be out maybe through workshops, maybe through rewards, or maybe through papers, maybe through publications, so that you have to change the paradigm. Once you say that every woman or every man they can feel proud of, I am. There is a competition. Nowadays we compete for how many big car, how much big car I am having, how much luxury car I am having. So it should be a competition on how many plants we are having. The moment you change this viewpoint from one side to other side, things may change. I'm not saying it is 100% yet because it is no proven track I am having, but it is my viewpoint that it may change. It may change. Then people may think to reduce their other carbon energy uses. So slowly they can understand why energy uses should be reduced by that time, and so that people can live a much better life, or we can give a much better future and environment to our next generation. They have not to think of anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Basu, for sharing your real life experience with us on our today's theme. Madam, we need your wholehearted participation and your kind support in any future upcoming program of CWEEL.
Most welcome. I'm always there for you because I would love to see the young students to work, to think creative way, so that because without creativity we cannot go ahead. And I personally believe women are the best manager, best creative people, and the best one because when they can manage, we always say they are household work. Doing a household work within a small area and living a sustainable living So if you can do it in a small place, why you can't do it in a huge one? And they are the great managers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
May I now request Rikta to continue the proceedings?
Thank you, ma'am. As we have reached the end of our program, I like to show my gratitude to all the esteemed dignitaries for gracing us with their presence and making this event such a learning experience for all of us. Thank you again. And now I would like to request Ms. Piali Sengupta, Assistant Professor, Energy Management Department of IISWBM Kolkata, CWEEL Lead Officer India, and Treasurer EEE IISWBM Kolkata Chapter, to, to say few words and deliver the vote of thanks to all our esteemed dignitaries. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ripika. So I, on behalf of CWEEL India chapter and AEISWBM Kolkata chapter, and also on behalf of myself, would like to propose a formal vote of thanks to the speakers from different parts of the world and sharing their valuable talk with us today. I would like to thank Mrs. Laurie Regan Jackson, President, CWEEL USA, for accepting our invitation and also very nicely explaining the current and upcoming mission of CWEEL to support women in energy and environment sector. I hope with your future assistance, CWEEL India Kolkata chapter will surely flourish in near future. Thank you. So further, we are thankful to Mrs. Madhura Mitra, Director, Sustainability and Climate Change, for rightly highlighting the opportunities and challenges for women in energy sector and energy and also environmental sector. Here, I would like to add that Madhura is also one of our prominent SWBM Energy Management Department alumni who is contributing towards excellence towards the energy and environmental sector globally. Thank you, Madhura. A special thanks to Ms. Suhair Al Mahidat, who is contributing extremely well towards women professionals in energy sector to the Jordan chapter. I, I personally believe that our Kolkata chapter will also get inspired by their chapter's experience and their working towards the women and empowerment.
Thank you.
I must mention our deep appreciation for Ms. Haimanti Podda, Senior Energy Climate Change Advisor, British Deputy High Commission, Kolkata, who is also an alumni of our IISWBM Environment Management Department. And she rightly focusing and encouraging the women to come forward in this sector. Thank you, Haimanti. Uh, my sincere thanks goes to our next speaker, Dr. Sridhari Basu, consultant, art consultancy EIL, for sharing her experience. Thank you, madam. I hope she is still here. Thank you, ma'am. I wish to express my gratitude to Mrs. Rupa Bhattacharya, Register RISWAM, for your introductory speech and continuous administrative support to for our CWEEL activities. Thank you, ma'am. My thanks goes to our different our program advisors and mentors, Sri Dipankar Dasgupta, President AEISWBM Kolkata Chapter and Director IISWBM, Professor Dr. Krishna Murari Agarwal, Vice President AEISWBM Kolkata Chapter, Professor Dr. Vinay Krishna Chaudhary, Assistant Director, Asia Pacific Region, AEE USA, and Dr. Arindam Datta, Secretary, AEISWBM Kolkata Chapter, and Coordinator, MBA Energy Management Department, IISWBM. All of your continuous support and guidance make this event a successful one. Thank you to everyone. And I also thank to Dr. Sharvani Mitra, CWEL Liaison Officer, India, and Joint Secretary, AEISWBM Kolkata, for organizing so well and clearly mentioning the mission and vision of CWEL AEISWBN Kolkata chapter. So special thanks and best wishes to all our AEISWBN student Kolkata chapter members who put their wonderful effort to make this event a successful one. Without them, I think this event will not going to be happening this way. So here I would like to congratulate our two energy management students who have already received CWEL scholarship last year. I wish and I expect more students, more girl students will also receive CWEL scholarship this year also. So best wishes to all my students. Thanks to all participants from different part of the world for their active participation. Uh, Thank you all. And if you have a, since we have a less time, we are not able to take much questions. So if you have any questions to any participant, please write it down. Admin, please write our email ID so that if anyone has questions, please write it down there, and we will surely forward that to the expected panelists, and we will forward it to you. Along with this formal vote of thanks, I would like to conclude that much work remains to be done on women empowerment in energy and environmental sector, and expecting that more female members across the world will come together and get the opportunity to in this field to get the equal opportunity, or we can say the equality in corporate sector and also in the different area where they are working. So with this one positive note, I would like to mention here that within last 15 years, mm, that our girl students in energy management department has increased from 10% to 35%. And now in this, we have a ratio of 60 to 40 girl students and men students in our energy management department. This year also, our admission is going on, and we encourage more girl students to take admission or to sit for the interview for their admission in the energy management, MBA in energy management. So we're expecting the CWEELA as WBN Kolkata chapter will grow in near future, and we expect all of your best wishes, and we expect participation and members from a different aspects, different areas like students and researchers and policymakers, corporates, etc. So, with this note, I would like to end our program, or we can say it's not an end. This is the beginning of the next our next journey. So here I would like to mention that after this session, I would like to invite you all of you. I would like to invite all of you to our next webinar, which will be held on 22nd September 2021 on energy storage day. So all of you are invited, and I will surely send you invitation to your registered email ID. So we expect all of your participation to your next uh, program and the next webinar. Thank you all. Thank you. It's a great one, and I think we have ended it within the right time. Just 5 minutes. Then time. So please,
Thank you, everyone.
I think feedback link is also given. So please fill up the feedback, and you will all of you will receive a participation certificate. If there is any query, please do not hesitate to write us.
Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful program. And a special thanks to you, sir, and the Lori, and the Sridevi, and all other speakers, especially to Dr. Mitra and Yali. And the entire our young student team for initiating the civil activities. Thank you. Thank you.